Well, yes, for over 3 months, the Kirit Parikh panel has been reviewing gas prices, the gas pricing formula. They have been getting submissions from various stakeholders. The report has now been submitted to the government. With us right now is Mr. Kirit Parekh, who heads this panel. Sir, the report, we believe, has been submitted to the government. The next step after this?
Well, now next step is with the government. They will have to decide what they want to do with it. And reports do not necessarily get translated into government policy. But I hope that it does, because most of the reports I have written in the past have been translated into government policies. So I do believe the government will act on it, but it's just a conjecture.
Okay. Now, in terms of price of gas from legacy fields for the likes of ONGC, OIL, APM gas prices, has the report suggested a price cap?
Yeah, what we have suggested is that there should be a floor of $4 per mMBtu. This is to cover the marginal cost of production of OIL and ONGC. And we have also put a ceiling price of $6.5 per mMBtu, which ceiling price will be gradually raised every year by about $0.5 per mMBtu. We have also at the same time suggested that by 1st January 2027, this price caps and floor would be removed, and that this will be in a completely free market determined price.
Right. So 1st January 2027 is
That's
when
correct.
you expect complete liberalization.
This for the APM gas.
For APM gas.
Yeah.
What has been your recommendation when it comes to difficult oil fields?
Yeah, currently the difficult fields and many others with different kinds of contract terms and conditions are such that they have by and large pricing freedom. But that freedom is constrained by an upper bound that the government prescribes and updates from time to time. We have suggested that this upper bound should continue to remain for the next 3 years, and 1st January 2026 it should be removed. The whole idea for doing all this is that we wanted to make sure that the government target of 15% of gas in the Indian economy 2030 has a chance of fulfillment. That requires that we produce a lot of domestic gas, increase the production. Currently it is only 6% of the total gas, total energy is from gas. That we are importing almost 50% of the gas. So if you want to raise gas's share, it is obvious that you must increase domestic production.
Right.
And domestic production requires that producers get total marketing and pricing freedom. All the fields which have been allocated after February 2019 have that freedom, and we are extending that from 1st January 2026 for other fields.
For other fields as well. Does it change the gas pricing for priority sector like city gas distribution companies?
Yeah, the thing is that the city gas distribution, we have also said, how does the price actually get determined? We have only given the floor and the ceiling. So we have said that you take the import price of crude oil and then apply some factor to it and describe an APM price. And this APM price, whatever it is, the ceiling and floor would be applied. So suppose the APM price works out to $8, then you will charge only $6.5. And this is the price at which ONGC and OIL will sell to GAIL and to consumers like or distributors like CGD network. Now, one of the second objective of our thing was, apart from saying 15% share of gold, was indeed to have a reasonable price or fair price for the consumers. And the consumers are really, they need to be protected, were getting subsidized gas in a sense, not directly but implicitly subsidized gas, are PNG consumers household, piped natural gas, and compressed natural gas consumer for transport sector. And of course, fertilizer plants have always been being supported for a long time. So the kind of the way we have suggested, I think, will provide adequate returns to CGD companies to make sure that the PNG consumers get a price which is competitive and advantageous compared to its domestic consumers' alternative fuel, namely LNG.
Right.
And similarly, for CNG users, that should be competitive with respect to diesel.
Right. Now, I'd just like to seek a clarification as well, sir. When you speak about liberalization of gas prices, you speak about a 1st January 2027 timeline. Now, what?
That's for APM.
That's for APM.
Yeah.
And January 2026 is for?
Other gas.
For other gas fields,
right.
like difficult gas fields, right? Also to ask you about LNG, will new gas fields have linkage to spot LNG as well?
New gas fields have I don't understand the question. What is the linkage for the new gas fields with the LNG?
What about
liquefied natural gas?
Yes. What is your report?
No, I think the new gas fields have no linkage with anything. They are free to do anything. But the market would provide the necessary linkage. It is expected that the gas prices in the international market will come down dramatically in 2 years' time, because some 25% addition to capacity for exporting LNG is coming up. And in 27, another 20% is coming up. So the surplus, there is a significant increase in the supply. So I think once that import price comes down, then it is automatically going to provide a linkage to the domestic producers.
Right.
They cannot sell at a price which is different from that.
Right. I'd also like to ask you about one other key objective that you had, that is to increase domestic production of natural gas. Have you suggested a roadmap, a set of measures?
No, that's the main production roadmap for that is free the prices, give the producers, the E&P, the exploration and production companies, total freedom for marketing and pricing. And that's the one step we are suggesting. I think that is perhaps the best roadmap that you can think of.
Right. Also, considering the global volatility when it comes to the energy sector right now, how soon do you think the government should go ahead and implement this?
No, but that is
our understanding is that the next step would be to go to cabinet.
Yes, of course, that is that will the ministry itself will decide and then take it to the cabinet. But the volatility, there you are mixing up two questions. You're saying what is the next step, and then say what about the global?
How soon should it be done?
But that is precisely what we have said, because global marketing price volatility for LNG will continue for some time, but not beyond. We don't expect it to last too long. And of course, if the volatility continues, the government would decide whether we should do this or not. That. But essentially, that's why we have given 3 years and 4 years time frame.
Right.
That only on 1st January 26 means 3 years from now. And 1st January 27 means 4 years from now. So that's the reason for absorbing the volatility, as well as the legacy of many contracts people have made.
Also, you had received a number of submissions from various stakeholders, the agriculture, the fertilizer sector, the automobile industry. Give us a sense of how you try to balance all interests and also that of the consumer of CNG and piped gas.
Well, we have really listened to all stakeholders. We have considered their concerns, and we have tried to balance them in the sense that you have to give them all producers adequate return, distributors adequate margin, and consumers fair price. And we didn't want to increase any burden on the government finances. Now, increasing APM gas price, for example, then currently it is 8.5, it will come down. So that should certainly help the CGD distributors. But compared to past, when there was only $1.69 per MMBtu was the price of APM gas, the government was losing money. It was passing the burden of giving cheap gas on the ONGC.
Right.
But in the process, the government was losing revenue on what do you call this? Their share in dividend, their taxes that they might get from profit-making public sector companies, and the royalty. So all these together, they were losing. Now with even a floor of $4, they will get a positive addition to the central government's budget.
Right. There were also reports that the city gas will get the first claim on gas supply in case of a cut. Could you elaborate on that, sir?
Yeah, the thing is, this is the hardest problem in some sense to solve, and we have not really solved it in some sense, not given a formula for doing this. The reality is that city gas wants certain amount of gas. Fertilizer wants certain, and so on. So there are different consumer groups want this gas. They all want to put a claim on the APM gas because it is cheaper than the other gas in the market. And therefore, I think we have just said the government should revise the allocation thing and gradually get out of this whole business of allocation. Because earlier they had done this allocation. They decided to go out of the crude oil allocation business, and we could say the same way they should get out of the allocation business at all.
Right. But as far as the city gas is concerned, they should have the
I mean, these three users are the city
priority
gas
users.
And fertilizer are certainly the priority users because fertilizer price, whatever the government decides, they're compensating the manufacturing companies fully for the cost of production.
Right. Thank you so much, Mr. Parekh, for answering all those questions, giving us a sense of what transpired in those deliberations over the last 3 to 4 months and your hope from the government in terms of implementing the key recommendations of this report. Thank you so much.
Right.